To be clear, we had a very bad run of form in terms of results. No excuse in the world can make up for us losing so many games. But we had to play a lot of games in a small amount of time. We have not hardly any rest in between when we then faced a team that had a lot of rest. Tonight we played against a team that played on Saturday as well, so the both of us had 2 days rest. Then it's helpful to play in a home game, because from the last 8 I think we played 6 away from home. So the fans can give you just a little bit of an extra edge if you are maybe a little bit tired.
Are they back?
Did they ever go? You know, I think Liverpool have had, you know, trying to find their feet with the new team. I would say the form's back for sure, but the players are still there. You know, last night, what I've seen over the last couple of games, Aston Villa, last night against Real Madrid, they were fantastic. It was a bit of the old Liverpool, you know, more resilient at the back. Robertson back in there, you know, Conor Bradley, who was absolutely outstanding last night against Vinicius Junior, and a bit more of a team where I thought this is what Liverpool are about, playing on the front foot, energy in midfield. And I think the issue that they've had, and it'll probably sit there and kick himself, Arne Slot, is the fact that them 4 games that they lost and they was on a terrible run it was just trying to fit everyone in. He was trying to play everyone in, you know, trying to get Isak, Frimpong, Kirkes playing. And I think he got it wrong. And I think he's had to take a step back and go, I need to go back to what I know, what I trusted last season, what won me the league. And I think that's kind of what he's done with, you know, Conor Bradley and Robertson back in there. And I think it's made a big difference.
This time last week, there was a lot of criticism that maybe he didn't care about the Carabao Cup when he changed everybody pretty much. Played a very young team, very young bench against Crystal Palace, and they went out. Has he been vindicated? Because since then, they've played 2-1-2. Yeah,
I think if you're going to look, he'd still be disappointed that they go out of competitions. I think, you know, fans, players want to be in all competitions because it's games and it's chances to play. But I think if you're looking at it, and you know the week that they've got coming up, they've got Man City right the weekend
away.
So you know it's probably one of the biggest weeks that they'll have this season. And you know that Carabao Cup game, he made the decision that he didn't want to risk any of his top players, and you'd have to say, on the face of it, he's been right because they beat Aston Villa, good performance, but an amazing performance against Real Madrid. You know, and all of a sudden he looks like he's found a team where it feels settled, and it feels like the Liverpool side that I've watched before last season.
Is this the best Liverpool we've seen this season?
Listen, you couldn't have dreamt, if you were anybody connected with Liverpool today, you couldn't have dreamt the way they played. I mean, quite frankly, they outplayed Real Madrid for the majority of the game. Little spells where Real Madrid had some possession, but this was all about Liverpool going forward. You know, we've been talking about who's to blame for Liverpool's poor performances. Is it the players? Is it the manager? Well, today, everybody gets the praise because the players absolutely turned up tonight. Defensively, they were great. The middle of the park, they were fantastic. That 3 of McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai were outstanding. Szoboszlai in the first half was absolute world class. And Arne Slot, in my opinion, got this absolutely 100% right because nobody expected him to play Wirtz. I certainly didn't. And I guess because of the Real Madrid setup, because they had nothing down that right-hand side, Liverpool's left, and so he could play Wirtz. And Wirtz was allowed to drift. And he just got in positions and he knitted everything together. Him and Szoboszlai passing and moving. It was dreamsville for Liverpool in this game. To pick, of all games, to produce your best performance of the season at home to Real Madrid, big time game, and boy, did they deserve it. 1-0 it finished, it should have been 3 or 4.
They had majority of the chances. Real Madrid looked a little bit flat, you know, and I thought it was a fantastic performance by Liverpool at the right time. Now, obviously, they had a bit of a bumpy road over the last couple of weeks. A lot of question marks, you know, in Liverpool. But this was a fantastic response, you know, for players and for the coach. Obviously, was enjoyable to watch. And I was obviously very pleased that he played Florian Wirtz. Stevie said he didn't expect him to play. And and I think the kid showed up. You know, he did fantastic kind of sequences within the game. He didn't score, obviously, but he's growing. You know, he's a young kid, and I think, you know, going forward, you know, he will grow with every game. Also, the games where he maybe didn't play so well. And I think there will be a lot to be seen by Florian Wirtz in the near future.
Liverpool, obviously they beat Villa, now they've beaten Real Madrid. Next up is Manchester City away. How do they ensure it's this version of Liverpool that we saw tonight against Real Madrid, against Man City?
Well, I think what you've seen over the last couple of games in particular is the fog has disappeared. You know, they started the season by winning games somehow, and then they lost, 5 out of 6? And everybody was running around overthinking everything, taking too long to make passes. Everybody's so concerned with trying to figure out what's going on that they forgot to play football. You know, the ability they have on the field, they need to try and relax, and they couldn't relax. And that performance against Villa was the first step to relaxing. And I think you saw a team that was relaxed tonight. You know, we've not seen Liverpool with a movement like that since last season. You know, and Wirtz was a huge part of that. He unlocked a lot of space for other players. And so I think they've just come out the fog. And I think they'll be relishing going to Man City. You know, from 2 weeks ago thinking, wow, we got Villa at home, we got Real Madrid at home, then we got City away. Now it's, well, we've taken care of Villa, we've absolutely outplayed Real Madrid. Let's go and do the same with Man City.
It's relaxed, but with emotion. It's relaxed, but with intensity. And we saw that, some of it against Aston Villa, and we actually talked about over the weekend that you were seeing the emotional edge coming back for Liverpool, and the reaction of the players when they're making a challenge, the reaction of the players when they're winning a 50-50 ball, whenever they're doing a play that is not just about completing a pass, that it's about building momentum and building character and building self-belief and building confidence that you haven't had over the course of the season. Now, that confidence comes from the fact that you're winning games. They did that against Aston Villa, and I think what would fill this team with confidence after Real Madrid is not only did they beat Real Madrid playing the game, not only did they beat them in the score, they were also emotionally invested in the game, in which they were all over Real Madrid and did not allow this team to breathe. That, I think, elevates you. What they have to be careful with is that you take a breather, and that breather becomes complacency. You cannot afford to do that if you're Liverpool. You have to carry this momentum forward and know that a lot of your success has come from that urgency, from that intensity, from that emotion that was lacking for about a month, I would say in the middle part of the season. As we have come to see earlier, they were winning games. Then later, they were sort of scraping by, and then they couldn't get results. Now it seems like they have turned around, continue this momentum, and it has to be based with that emotion and that intensity.
Jude Bellingham says that the booing isn't a true reflection of what the fans were thinking. It was just about putting him off and giving the Liverpool team a bit more help. What do you make of that?
Absolutely nonsense from Jude Bellingham. It's a bit embarrassing as well that it's like he's acting like Trent's mum, coming out and trying to protect them all the time. So no, absolute nonsense. I was there, I'll tell you what the Liverpool fans were like, and it was exactly what Jamie O'Hara's just said. It was nasty, there was venom in it, and he found out exactly how all Liverpool fans were feeling. This wasn't a bunch of idiots on the internet. This was 60,000 Liverpool fans making sure that he knows that his legacy has completely been ruined. It doesn't matter what he's done in the Liverpool shirts, and I think we need to point out as well, and we're acting like he'd done us a favour. He got paid to play for Liverpool, you know, and it's something that we would all love to do. I think it's not because he left Liverpool, it's because of how he left Liverpool. And there was a point in that booing last night that I was thinking that in 10 years' time when I'm reading his book, I hope that he reflects and maybe regrets not so much that he's left Liverpool, but how he left Liverpool. That's the problem for me. A normal lad from Liverpool, a celebrity now, that's the detachment. It's a transfer from a footballer to a celebrity. He's completely misjudged the whole situation, and how he left over an 18-month period is the biggest problem.
Look, I've had this argument a million times. You talk about his legacy, he's ruined his legacy. How can you say that? I mean, the moments that he give you as a football player, the things he's won there, 2 Premier League titles, Champions League, Carabao Cup, Club World Cup, FA Cup. I mean, the guy's won the lot. You talk about his legacy. He left to go to Real Madrid. You know, you talk about an 18-month...
He gaslit the fans, Jamie. He gaslit the fans. He was doing this as celebrations. He was making statements and making insinuations that he was going to maybe possibly sign a new contract. He knew exactly what he was doing.
You didn't pay him enough money?
We didn't pay him enough money. I don't think any money was going to keep him in the world. I think
you don't know that. Give him an offer he can't refuse.
I think that he was so fluent in Spanish for such a long time shows you that he left.
Is he not allowed to learn another language? He's got to have his options open. He's a young lad. If you ain't give him a deal, if you ain't offered him a contract that he thinks that he's worth, then he's in his right mind to leave. Luis Diaz left. You got money for him because you weren't paying him enough.
Do you think he left because of a contract?
You didn't pay him.
Do you think he left because of a contract problem?
No, I think there was.
No, I'm asking you a question.
I think there was a few elements why he left. One, it's Real Madrid. They're one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest club in the world. He done everything and won everything he could possibly win at Liverpool Football Club. He might have wanted a new challenge. They're human beings. People are entitled to a new challenge. And two, you didn't pay him enough. You didn't give him an offer he couldn't refuse. If you really wanted to keep him, you would have given him an offer he wouldn't refuse.
Trent was on one of the biggest earners at Liverpool Football Club, right? So let's get that straight. Second of all, when you sign for Real Madrid, you normally take a pay cut. So that's another element of this, which isn't completely true.
That's not true.
It is for players like Trent Alexander-Arnold. It really is. And another thing is that's fine if you leave Liverpool. It's absolutely fine. No Liverpool player or former Liverpool player comes back to Anfield and gets booed. Let's get that thing straight as well. That doesn't happen. Liverpool fans are one of the only fans in the whole world that welcome ex-players back all the time. You see them in the main stand. They're there week in, week out. This is completely different, and the wider media have misjudged it because they don't know exactly what's gone on. But the thing is,
I just thought it was really harsh from Liverpool fans. I think Liverpool fans are amazing. You're amazing fans. You know, the way you are with your players, the way you support your team, you're incredible. But I can't get my head around
one of the things which is not
nastiness there was. That was nasty last night, I thought.
Jamie, it's the way he's left, and it's the fact that he's gone to a direct rival for the Champions League as well. They knocked us out 3 times. I think it was in 5 years, 2 of them being Champions League finals. So what he's done is, you said that we got him for nothing, okay? He left basically for nothing. What he's done there is strengthened the direct rival for the Champions League. So he's made Liverpool, when they're at the peak of the powers, weaker. It's as simple as. That's what he's done. But it's all the other things, the underhand stuff, that has completely gone under the radar. I mean, I remember it was the game on Sky when he's cupped his ear, he's doing this to the crowds. What was that about? I don't understand that. Rip your top off. Okay, celebrate. You've just won the league title. Fantastic. You've played your part. That's brilliant. But as soon as you've done that, you said to the Liverpool fans, forget about all that media stuff. They don't know nothing. I'm about to sign a new deal. At that very moment, he was speaking fluent Spanish, which you say he's allowed to. That's fine. But you don't learn Spanish unless you're moving abroad in a couple of weeks.